In this video, I'll show you January 17th, 2024, photographer Brian Stone posted a video to his YouTube channel that he claimed was the aftermath of being pepper sprayed by a security guard in Austin, Texas. Although this part of the encounter was not captured on film, according to Mr. Stone, he was out taking photos when a security guard named James, apparently working for professional security consultants in that shopping center, informed a young man that he could not ride his bike through the area. The details of the altercation are unclear, but Mr. Stone claimed that the security guard pepper sprayed him and his camera before calling law enforcement. Mr. Stone filmed his confrontation with the security guards after the pepper spraying and the police encounter that followed when Officer Mendoza, Detective Carabo, and other officers with the Austin Police Department responded to the call.
Hey, give me y'all's cards. You sprayed on my give me your card. Give me your security card. What's your name? What's your name? What's your unit number?
James, you back up.
I'm not in your personal space and I ain't got to go nowhere. Spray me again.
Back up.
I'm going to have your suit. Come on, give me your card.
I ain't giving you no card.
What's your name?
James.
James what?
James.
Give me your security card. You know it's against the law not to do it, right?
I'm sorry, but
You know.
Hey.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Come on. Come on, James. Come on. Yeah, no, you will.
No, I won't.
No, you won't. Okay, then I'll get APD here. Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, so here we got professional security consultants. Those tags look expired. Are those tags expired?
Answer questions. Shut up.
No, you do answer questions. You're a public servant.
Negative. This guy's just really out of it.
Yeah, get him out here. Get him out here because you sprayed me for. You try to get me directed to your security guard.
Oh, I can cuff him. That wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, cuff me. Put your hands on me. See what happens.
Whoa.
Yeah, see what happens. Cuff me. Yeah, I assume that was your boss that you're on the phone with, right?
It don't matter who we're on the phone with.
All right, there.
Yeah, please get the police out here because these people sprayed me with no cause.
Back up.
I don't have to back up. I can be wherever the I want to right here. I'm not in your space. Dude, it's on camera, bro. PFC security here sprayed me for God not wanting to take his directive. For not wanting to shut up.
You guys got a pair of scissors. Weapons in his backpack. But the weapons that he has are very accessible.
So what? I have the right to bear arms. No, you're going to lose your job over that.
No.
You are, I promise you.
No.
It's assault. You assaulted me, bro. You sprayed me. It's assault. So,
James, where is your security card? Because you have to give that to me and I know that by law. Quit walking up behind me. Mr. Stone claims that the security guard is required by law to give him his security card. Under Section 1702.232 of the Texas Occupations Code, the Department of Public Safety must issue a pocket card to each individual security license holder. This card must contain the name of the individual license holder, a photograph of the license holder with their signature, and the date of issuance and expiration. Otherwise, under Section 1702.165 of the Texas Occupations Code, the department must also issue pocket cards to commissioned uniformed security officers. Although the exact details of the security guard's licensing are unknown in this situation, it seems likely that he has been issued a so-called pocket card. Rule 35.82 of Title 37 of the Texas Administrative Code states that, quote, commissioned security officers shall carry their pocket cards while on duty and when traveling to and from the place of assignment, and shall present the cards upon request by a peace officer or to a representative of the department, and the Rule 35.5 of the title places the same requirement on individual licensees who have been issued pocket cards. Additionally, Rule 35.10 of Title 37 of the Texas Administrative Code requires that, quote, a private investigator or commissioned security officer executing an arrest warrant on behalf of a bail bond surety may not fail to clearly identify themselves, both orally and by displaying their pocket card as a private. Security officer or private investigator working on behalf of a bail bond surety. However, there does not appear to be a rule that requires security guards to present their pocket cards to citizens during their other interactions with citizens. You do have to give me a security guard by law.
I want to.
Keep following us.
I can follow you. I want your cards. I want both of your cards.
And then the manager, she carnival asses.
Yeah, and I left the store when she asked. It's all on camera, bro. You can roll your eyes and try to play whatever bullshit you want. It's all on camera.
Back.
I'm going for the cops.
Back.
I'm going for the cops. You get back, man. No, name and badge number, please. Name and badge number. Name and badge number. Name and badge number.
Do not resist.
What am I resisting? What are you doing?
Do not.
I'm not resisting. What are you doing?
Put your hands behind your back.
Why are you holding me for?
Put your hands behind your back.
All right, I'm doing it. Quit trying to manhandle me.
Do not go for that.
I'm not going for no knife. Tell me to put my hand behind my back.
Listen, just relax. Let go of your camera.
No.
Okay, you're gonna put your hand behind your back, or you're gonna.
You violate my rights. You violate my rights.
Do not move.
He told me to put my hands behind my back, dude.
There's a knife right there.
You're unlawfully searching and seizing me.
Right now, you're being detained until we investigate what's going on.
Okay,
Right?
that's fine. Mendoza, badge number.
right there.
What's your badge number?
965.
Sir, name and badge number.
Hey, look. Mach 8742. It's right there also.
Thank you.
What's
Sir,
going on?
name and badge number, please.
Right here, Detective Caraballo with the Austin Police Department. What's your name?
So why are y'all detaining me?
Because listen, we got a call out here for a disturbance.
Okay, so hold on.
You're gonna listen?
Look at my camera.
Okay.
Look at my camera.
Are you going to listen?
I'm listening
for
to
me
you.
to answer the questions
I'm
that
listening
you asked
to
me.
you.
The reason why we're here is because we got called for a disturbance, okay, between you and the security officer. That's why we're here, okay? And the fact that you have a weapon on you, we're not saying that it's illegal to carry, but we are going to take it away from you for your safety and for our safety.
So unlawful search and seizure, right?
Okay, whatever.
Look at the camera.
That's what he pepper sprayed you, right?
He also got me in the face too. It's all in my eyes. Where's medical at?
Okay, you need medical?
Want an ambulance?
Huh? Yeah, I need medical out here.
We'll get the ambulance
Yeah.
out for you. How'd you guys come in contact? Like, what
First of all, he was
started?
following some kid on a bike. The kid had stopped to talk to me. I'm out taking pictures. I'm a photographer. That's what I do. I'm a journalist. And when he stopped, he said something to the kid about, you don't need to be around here. And I said, bro, if he lives around here, he has every right to be around here. He said, shut the up. I ain't talking to you. And that's what I told him. I said, no, you shut the up. You don't tell me what to do. And then when I came up on him, that's when he sprayed me, and I wasn't even close to him.
Okay.
I wasn't even nowhere near his.
Where were you standing when he sprayed you?
So you see where my bike is?
Yeah.
We were somewhere up over in that area over there.
In front of that store?
We might have been in front of Ulta.
Where do you pepper spray you? On your camera?
On camera, in the face. It's all in my
not
eyes
you,
and everything.
that's the
It's
camera.
all in my eyes and everything. I can feel it.
What's your name?
What is that there? Is that his identification?
Okay. What's your first name, man? Man,
What's your
Why
RAS?
are you making this so much difficult?
I don't need to make it difficult. You guys got me in handcuffs because this man assaulted me.
Someone called 911 and said you were going to try and stab someone with
No, that's bull.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Somebody said you try to punch him and then try to stab
Nope.
him with scissors. That's
Absolutely
why,
not.
Like I said, I had to put you in handcuffs.
And I guarantee you, I bet you there's other cameras outside of mine. I bet you there's other cameers in here that I'm going to pull.
That's why
Listen.
I asked
Yeah.
you where you were
And
standing.
that's
Yeah.
and I just confirmed with them that they're denying that you ever took out your scissors or knife. And like I said, you're in your rights to hold your scissors, right? To have knives on you and
Hey,
stuff like that.
you're
It's not
right.
illegal.
So why did y'all illegally take my shit? And why am I
Because
detained? Why am I in
I got
handcuffs?
report-
Because see now, unfortunately for y'all, hold on. No, I want to tell you how this is going to work out. Because now I'm not detained. I'm arrested.
No, you're not.
It's arrested. As soon as you put the handcuffs on me, that's arresting.
It is. You've arrested my wrist. That's what it's called. Bro, Mr. Stone argues that he is arrested rather than detained because he is in handcuffs. As we have discussed several times before on ATA, courts have generally held that the use of handcuffs does not automatically transform a so-called Terry stop detention into an arrest. For instance, in the 2008 case of State v. Shepard, the Court of Criminal Appeals of Texas held that, quote, a person who has been handcuffed has been seized and detained under the Fourth Amendment, but he has not necessarily been arrested, and that now quoting again, a Fourth Amendment Terry detention is not a custodial arrest, and the use of handcuffs does not automatically convert a temporary detention into a Fourth Amendment arrest. The court also noted that, now quoting again, although there is no so-called bright-line rule to distinguish the two, Texas cases are generally categorized as an arrest or detention depending upon several factors, including the amount of force displayed, the duration of a detention, the efficiency of the investigative process, and whether it is conducted at the original location or the person is transported to another location. The officer's expressed intent, that is, whether he told the detained person that he was under arrest or was being detained only for a temporary investigation, and any other relevant factors. If the degree of incapacitation appears more than necessary to simply safeguard the officers and assure the suspect's presence during a period of investigation, this suggests the detention is an arrest. Here, Officer Mendoza used limited force to place Mr. Stone in handcuffs. He was not transported to another location, and the officers. Expressed intent was to temporarily detain him rather than arrest him. However, as the interaction continues, there are certainly questions regarding the duration of Mr. Stone's detention and the efficiency of the officers' investigation. And as we will see, the officers continue to keep Mr. Stone in handcuffs after the suspicions against him appear to be resolved. In the 1981 case of Michigan versus Summers, the Supreme Court explained that, quote, in assessing whether a detention is too long in duration to be justified as an investigative stop, we can consider it appropriate to examine whether the police diligently pursued a means of investigation that was likely to confirm or dispel their suspicions quickly, during which time it was necessary to detain the defendant. As such, while it is likely that a court would conclude that the initial handcuffing of Mr. Stone was constitutionally reasonable, given the specific facts reported that indicated he may be dangerous, Mr. Stone would have an argument that his extended handcuffing after the resolution of reasonable suspicion without probable cause for an arrest was a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Because
whoever made that report, if it was him, that's lying to an officer, which is in charge on him.
Do you mind providing your name so I can write it?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I want their names. I want their names and I want their security numbers.
You're going to have to identify yourself.
I do not,
Okay.
because I haven't committed a crime. I know my rights.
Okay, so then it's not going to be documented and you're not going to have their names. We tried to explain that to you several times, but you're just too upset to understand.
You're right, I'm upset. I've been sprayed and y'all guys got me in handcuffs and questioning me.
And we've explained that to you. We talked to them as well.
Okay, so why aren't they detained in handcuffs?
Because they don't have a weapon on
Oh,
them.
really?
And they're working.
Mace isn't a weapon?
All right. You got a CT put on you? That means...
I know what a CT is. Now, sir, if you don't mind, I would like to be released from handcuffs, since we realize that there's no crime committed.
As soon as the supervisor comes and talks to you, we'll release you, okay? And that's why I'm telling you, and I've been explaining to you why we put you in handcuffs, but you're not trying to hear it.
You're right, because I shouldn't be in handcuffs.
Well, that's according to you.
No, that's according to the law. A lawful search and seizure, and you've got me in handcuffs with no RAS. Okay. What is the RAS?
I'm done.
Hearsay is not
I'm
RAS.
done talking to you, man.
Is hearsay your RAS?
Mr. Stone contends that the officers cannot base reasonable, articulable suspicion on so-called hearsay. Hearsay is defined as an out-of-court statement offered to prove the truth of whatever it asserts. And with limited exceptions, hearsay evidence is generally not admissible in court. For instance, in a criminal prosecution, a witness would not be able to testify in court that a third party informed them that the defendant was involved in a robbery, in order to prove that the defendant was involved in the robbery. However, this rule involves the admissibility of evidence in the courtroom, and does not limit the type of evidence that can be considered when determining whether an officer has reasonable suspicion to conduct an investigative stop. As the Supreme Court noted in the 2014 case of Navarrete versus California, it has, quote, firmly rejected the argument that reasonable cause for an investigative stop can only be based on the officer's personal observation rather than on information supplied by another person. Therefore, an officer can obtain the reasonable suspicion necessary to detain an individual based entirely on information reported by a third party. For example, in the 1972 case of Adams versus Williams, the Supreme Court upheld the constitutionality of a Terry stop based on the unverified tip of an informant whom the officer knew personally, determining that, quote, the information from the informant had enough indicia of reliability to justify the officer's forcible stop. In reaching this conclusion, the court explicitly rejected the assertion that reasonable cause. A stop and frisk can only be based on the officer's personal observation rather than on information supplied by another person, noting that, quote, some tips completely lacking in indicia of reliability would either warrant no police response or require further investigation before a forcible stop of a suspect would be authorized. But in some situations, for example, when the victim of a street crime seeks immediate police aid and gives a description of his assailant, or when a credible informant warns of a specific impending crime, the subtleties of the here say rules should not thwart an appropriate police response. Similarly, in the 2017 case of State v. Ford, the Court of Criminal Appeals of Texas concluded that a store employee's report that an individual was shoplifting was sufficient to provide reasonable suspicion for a detention. Reasoning that, quote, the existence of reasonable suspicion does not turn on whether the store employee's hearsay statement should ultimately be believed by the trial court, but on whether the officer had sufficient articulable facts to reasonably conclude that a crime was being committed. Now, while the court recognized that the employee's reliability may have been questionable, now quoting again, the question is not whether the employee might subsequently be a credible witness in court for the purpose of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that appellee committed a crime. The question is whether the officer could rely upon the employee's report as one of several factors for determining probable cause. The answer to that question is yes, because citizen informants who identify themselves are considered inherently reliable. Based on this precedent, it is likely that a court would find that any statements from the security guards alleging criminal conduct by Mr. Stone would be sufficiently reliable to establish reasonable suspicion, since their duties generally include preventing criminal conduct and reporting it to the appropriate law enforcement authorities.
On you. That's not illegal. That's not illegal. What law is that?
Tell me the law.
What law did I break?
Do you need to break a law to be detained?
Yeah, I do. No, not to be detained. No, but to be arrested and to have my seized.
You're not arrested.
And to have my seized. Is this reasonable?
Absolutely.
How?
Because you have a weapon on you.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't matter. Your safety doesn't concern me.
Hey. Understood.
He is now issued a CTN for you at 9300, 9500, and 9600 South I-35 Service Road. So you have to get completely off of this property. Do you understand?
Well, I need to gather my effects.
Wait on our supervisor real quick.
Whose scissors are these?
Those are mine. Those are my scissors.
You'll get them back in a bit. Go.
Have a step over here.
Identify yourself as an officer of the law. Okay, that's fine. I got you too. Identify yourself.
Cruz 9744.
9744. Thank you, Cruz. Yeah, I'm gonna have you written up for that. Yeah, it's part of your code, bro. I know you have to. I know you have to identify yourself. It doesn't matter. When I ask as a civilian for you to identify yourself as a public servant, you have to.
I already told you, man. All they got to do is show you their name tag. It's right there.
They don't. You have to identify yourself. It's in your code, bro.
Mr. Stone claims that the officers are required to identify themselves by their so-called book, presumably referring to Austin Police Department policy. In Texas, state law does not mandate that police officers provide their names or badge numbers to citizens, but they may be required to do so by department policy. Under APD General Order 318.2, quote, officers will identify themselves when they initiate a duty-related contact with a person when practical, unless their identity is obvious. However, the policy does not explain what information is required as part of their identification, such as whether providing a name or badge number alone is sufficient. And it is possible that the department would determine the officers' identities to be obvious when their shirts prominently display their last names and badge numbers, as they do here. Mendoza, you could have handled that a lot better, bro. Just because somebody says something doesn't mean y'all can't just go off of hearsay and just make the law as you go, bro. It's called hearsay. It's called hearsay. You went off the hearsay, and you violated my constitutional rights, and I promise you, bro, you're going to feel the wrath on that, homie. You think I'd do this for fun? Brother, I got $10,000 right there, I promise you, bro. You're going to feel it, homie. Where's my EMS? I don't know. We're not EMS. We called them. Got to wait till they get in here. Get your sergeant out here so I can get out of these cuffs. It is unreal. It is unreal. I'm assaulted. Hey, where you going with my property? Do not put your hands on me, Lugo. Do not put your hands on me. Questions for you? Yes, sir. You on EMS today? I do. Shortly after EMS arrived, Mr. Stone's camera automatically stopped recording so the end of the interaction was not captured on video. However, Mr. Stone can be heard requesting a saline rinse for the pepper spray in his eyes and stating that the handcuffs are tight and he needs to make sure there is no damage to the nerves. Mr. Stone also alleged that the pepper spray ruined a $3,000 camera lens that he uses for school and work, and posted a follow-up video to his channel in which he recounted the events and his efforts to get information from related parties. I have included a link to this follow-up video in the description down below if you're interested in learning more. Overall, the Austin officers get a C because although a court would likely find that the initial handcuffing of Mr. Stone was reasonable, they may have unconstitutionally extended his detention by keeping him handcuffed well after their suspicions against him were resolved. While I cannot fault the officers for choosing to use handcuffs based on the information available to them at the time they arrived at the scene, the continued use of handcuffs until a supervisor arrived seemed unnecessary and felt like a punitive reaction to Mr. Stone's disrespectful but protected speech. The officers did maintain relatively professional demeanors throughout the encounter, although there were times when they appeared to grow impatient with Mr. Stone's arguments. But on the whole, they failed to de-escalate the encounter and kept an innocent man who had been pepper-sprayed, detained in handcuffs for much longer than was necessary under the circumstances. This encounter demonstrates how an originally constitutional detention can transform into a potential Fourth Amendment violation when officers fail to release. Detainee. Once reasonable suspicion is resolved, Mr. Stone gets a B- because although he attempted to stand up for his rights, he displayed a combative and aggressive demeanor throughout the encounter, and he was unfortunately incorrect about the legalities of several aspects of the encounter, including his arguments that he had been arrested because he was in handcuffs and that the officers could not base reasonable suspicion on so-called hearsay. As we discussed in this episode, both of those claims were inaccurate statements of the law, as courts have repeatedly held. Well, that the use of handcuffs does not automatically transform a detention into an arrest, and that officers may obtain reasonable suspicion through third-party statements. That being said, Mr. Stone is not an auditor, and I would encourage him to learn more about the limitations on his constitutional rights so that he can have a more accurate. Thank you very much for watching the video. Subscribe our channel for next video.